corresponded to their first date to let himself in. Goo woke up, and the two began fighting, leaving them both scratched and bruised. Choi posted pictures of his injuries on social media and sent a message to a celebrity news outlet, suggesting he had a salacious tip about Goo. He also sent Goo a sex video recorded on his phone and threatened to release it publicly. According to lawyers who represented Goo in a criminal lawsuit against Choi, against the initial advice of those lawyers, who thought she would suffer a backlash, Goo decided to report to the police both the altercation and what she said was a blackmail attempt. She was actually risking her livelihood as a celebrity by taking or making it known that there was this sex video, said Mr. Michael Chang, a lawyer with Shin and Kim, a large firm in Seoul that represented Goo. Once the media learned of the video, the incident escalated into a full-blown frenzy. Choi told one news outlet that Goo had recorded the footage herself, and told another that she had an explosive personality. Goo tried to tamp down the spiraling hysteria, telling an internet news daily that she wanted to apologize and halt the ungainly war of attrition, in which the two ex-lovers were slinging mud at each other like little children. A court in Seoul ruled in a separate lawsuit in 2020 by Mr. Goo and his father that Choi must pay 78 million won, $78,700, in a settlement to the Goo family. During this period, Goo Hara seemed to shut herself off from the few people she trusted. She was the kind of person who wouldn't express her struggles very much, and she kept things inside, said Ms. Choi Ran, a makeup artist, who knew Goo from her earliest days in Kara and even lived with her at one point. But in the months leading up to Goo's death, she had isolated herself, and Ms. Choi only read about her famous friend's troubles in the news. In November 2019, as Goo prepared for a tour in Japan, where she had built a fan base during her time in Kara, she seemed to rally, inviting members of her retinue for dinner, Ms. Choi said. Days later, disaster struck. Psy, an outspoken K-pop star, who had drawn her own fierce social media criticism for appearing in public without a bra and discussing her social anxiety, was found dead at her home. Goo and Psy had long bonded over their shared experiences, dealing with a zealous and at times unforgiving fan base. In a tearful farewell posted online from Japan, Goo vowed to work harder and live harder. After her tour, Goo went back to her home in Seoul, a two-story brick villa in the upscale neighborhood of Cheongdam, surrounded by luxury boutiques and restaurants. She had recently invited a former classmate to stay with her, because she was afraid to live alone. The house was so spacious that sometimes they would text each other, "What should we eat for dinner?" or "Let's go to sleep at 9, from different parts of the villa. The friend, Ms. Goo Da-hai, who is not related to Goo, said in a telephone interview. Mr. Goo knew his sister was depressed, but thought she had stabilized upon her return. "She looked better than I thought she would," he said. She was encouraging her brother and sister-in-law to have children, and had even helped pay for visits to an obstetrician. It seemed as if she was looking ahead to a new phase. The weekend she died, Mr. Goo offered to visit, but his sister told him she was going to a party. On the day of Goo's funeral, her brother learned that his wife was pregnant. Goo's mother emerged from her long absence to claim half of her daughter's estate, her legal share. Mr. Goo, his father, and his aunt filed a lawsuit arguing that Goo's mother should receive nothing. A judge reduced her share to 40%, and Goo Hoan filed a petition to change the law so that parents who abandoned their offspring in childhood would be banned from inheriting any part of their estate. The National Assembly has yet to act on what sponsors are calling the Goo Hara law. Goo's brother said he had mostly made peace with her death. "I decided that as she died because there was nothing else she could do, and that choice would make her feel comfortable," he said, "then I would respect her choice."